Hello and welcome back to 5-Minute Physiology, part 2 of our lecture 3 talk. We are now shifting to EPOC. So, what is EPOC, right? When we start exercising and we are consuming oxygen, suddenly we have to, well, increase our oxygen consumption to meet that demand of exercise. It takes a little while before we reach that steady state. It's not just a sudden increase, so there's a little bit of a deficit until our body reaches that steady state and can catch up. This is the basis of the VO2 max testing that we talked about in the previous lecture. Well, what happens when we're done after we've collapsed on the bike and exercised to our VO2 max? Well, we got to recover. Do we immediately start consuming oxygen at a lower level once we've rested? No, of course not. It comes back down again. There's a lot that happens when we're exhausted and we're sweating and we're hot, and we got to kind of return to our baseline there, back to homeostasis. That's what EPOC is, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. What are some fun facts about this? It is nicknamed the Afterburn. That is true. If you do a regular or, so to speak, traditional workout, you can raise your oxygen consumption, comes back down. If you do a much more intense workout, you can raise that oxygen consumption much higher, and then it takes longer to recover. That's the Afterburn. And it can last a long time, almost 2 days. 48 hours, a little bit of a stretch, but it does last a long time. The more intense you go, yes, the longer and more drawn out that curve is. And this is why high intensity interval training is so darn effective to boost that calorie burn. As I was saying, there's a great article here. About 48 hours, about 2 days, not exactly, that your VO2 can remain significantly elevated. And I know I'm dating myself here with the Seinfeld reference, but I remember this well when George said, my shower didn't take. He just kept on sweating because he had a very hard basketball workout in that episode. And that's what happens, because that's the afterburn. You have that glow, you're still sweating. That's EPOC. So let's imagine for a moment that you're Costanza in that episode and you just took a shower, did exhaustive exercise, and you're still sweating, and now you're sitting in the boardroom looking like you know something that you shouldn't, some insider info. That's what happened. What is going on in your body when you have, well, EPOC? All of these things, your hormones are still elevated, epinephrine, norepinephrine. Your heart rate is still cranking away. Your body temperature way up. It takes me a while. I feel that hot glow, and that's the afterburn. You got to restore your oxygen stores, myoglobin. You got to get rid of that lactate. You got to resynthesize all your phosphocreatine. Here's another example from the textbook that had a person doing an exhaustive exercise. It's no fun. There's another goofy picture. I don't know why that's what came up when I looked up EPOC and the afterburn. Now, it's not just aerobic exercise. You don't need to be on the bike doing Wingate tests or on the treadmill doing the Bruce protocol. You can lift weights and still get EPOC, right? This is the quote unquote burn calories while you're resting, right? Or the bonus burn. And it's not just oxygen debt, right? The oxygen deficit that we had on the prior slide, where you just have to wait until you reach steady state and then you have to recover after you exercise. It is not just paying back the oxygen debt. There is so much more going on in terms of physiologically, your endocrine system, your cardiovascular system, trying to return things back to that homeostasis. EPOC mnemonic, yeah, there's a couple of them out there. Extra power, right? Oxygen consumption. This is, if you can't remember, well, what is EPOC again? It's that post-exercise oxygen consumption. Well, gee, isn't that in the actual name? Excess post-exercise oxygen consumption? I don't know why there's a separate mnemonic for the actual mnemonic when the mnemonic itself is, well, self-explanatory. All right, this is a better one in terms of the restoration. What are those different factors to try to remember that? This is where you say, well, in blackjack, hit me. I thought it was hit me, but I found hit in. I don't know. I guess some people say hit in with blackjack, but here we go. Hormonal adjustments, right? We covered that. Rebalancing electrolytes. We didn't talk too much about that, but you got to get your sodium and calcium and potassium all back in order. Magnesium as well. Temperature regulation, muscle repair, you can throw creatine in there as well, and then energy replenishment. Well, I guess that's probably where I would put creatine in that area. By the way, I decided, since I thought it was interesting to have blackjack and EPOC together in the same slide, to ask AI to generate something. And well, you get something that would never happen in real life. You got some dude in the background here, some old school poker player or maybe blackjack and new school here, all while people are exercising. I did another one. What is going on over there? I have no idea. Can't quite figure out his left leg here. It's got some weird thing. And I guess you wear a top hat when you're exercising. And it just gets worse. This is starting to get a little creepy and spooky. You got some vials and canisters here with some oxygen chemistries going on. Just a little too creepy for me. All right, I'll leave you with that.